Hello students, welcome to Narayana online class. My name is Rahul and today we are here to discuss paper of 25th January. So let's start the paper discussion. So in section 1 student, we have 8 integer type question which is a single digit integer and the starting of this options will be from 0 to 9. Okay, so for this the marking scheme is +4 for every this, and if you have not attempted you will get 0 marks. Okay, so there is no negative here. First question, if you see a Fahrenheit thermometer range registers 100 degree Fahrenheit, it registers 100 degree Fahrenheit student. Yeah, so it registers 100 degree Fahrenheit while a faulty thermometer registers 44 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, so for 100 degree Fahrenheit, the faulty thermometer is registering 44 degree. We have to find how much is the error, right? So student, we know that Tc can be written as 5 by 9 Tf, that is temperature in Fahrenheit minus 32. This is what we know, we can do it. Now our given temperature is 100 F, so we'll plug the value 5 by 9, 100 minus 32, right? So if you simplify this, we'll get temperature in Celsius and that temperature is coming to be 37.08, okay? But that temperature is measured by the faulty thermometer as temperature measured as 44 degree. So what is the error? Delta error we can calculate. Delta error will be 44 minus 37.08 and that will be coming to around 6.22 degrees Celsius. Okay, so 6.22 degrees Celsius is the error which we got. So let's proceed to the next one now. Two vessels of volume 10 liter and 5 liter. So we have a two vessels and the volumes are given as 10 liter and 5 liter student. So here we have 10 liter and here we have 5 liter. They contain 5 ATM, they contain air of 5 ATM and X ATM. You need to calculate here the X ATM student. They are connected together and when they are connected together, initially this is log. Now when they are connected together student, the pressure is 6 ATM. So as this process is, as the temperature is constant, in this whole cycle here, we can write here P1 V1 plus P2 V2 and that will be equals to our final volume will be this P final and which is given as 6 ATM and V final. Okay, so initially we have 10 into 5 plus 5 into X and that will be equals to the pressure which is given as 6 and the final volume will not change student. So 10 liter plus 5 liter, total we have 15 liter. Okay, so if we simplify for this, what it is coming, 50 plus 5x is equals to 90. So from here x we are getting as 8 and that will be the answer of this question student. So let's proceed to the next question now. The third question, a vertical cylinder of height 100 centimeter contain air at a constant temperature and it is closed by friction with a piston at an atmospheric pressure shown in the figure. So here figure is not given, it is a miss thing here. So if the mercury is slowly poured on this one, so for this, if the mercury is slowly poured on this one, what we have to find, what will happen here? Okay, so let's see what will happen here. Initially, student, the height is like here 100 centimeter. Okay, so initially the height is 100 centimeter. Now what will happen? You have to calculate here what will be the final pressure, what will be the maximum height which this piston can have this. So if I take here this, let the cross sectional area be A, cross section area we take it as A. So what is given here, the mercury is slowly poured on this piston. Due to its weight, it is getting compressed. So let this initial height be h. So it is now compressed further. So if this is compressed further, what we can write here? If this is compressed further, we can write here P1 V1 is equals to P2 V2. As the temperature change is not taking place here, we can write here the P1 V1 thing is equals to P2 V2. Now let's see how we can write here the P1 V1 and P2 V2. So P1 student, we can write here P1 as, because it was coming with this height 100 centimeter. So volume, first we'll write P1. P1 will be 76 rho g, right? 76 rho g. Now similarly, we can write here the V1. The V1 which will be initially 100. That is the height here initially given. The height is given as 100 here. So it will be 100 into A. That is the height initially given. That 100 into A. This area we are taking it. Now for P2 student, we can write here when it will comes to this height. Say so this one height. So we can write here 76 rho g. Let's take this height to be h height here. So it will be plus h rho g. This will be my P2. Now V2 I can write it here. So from this total 100 height, this h height will change. So V2 I'll write it as 100 minus h into A. This is the value of V2 which I'll get. Now I can equate here the P1 V1 and P2 V2 here student. So if you equate here the P1 V1 and P2 V2, what you can write? You can write 76 rho g into 100 A will be equals to 76 rho g plus h rho g into 100 minus h into A. Okay, so A you can cancel it both side. Okay, and you have to simplify only for h here. So if you simplify only for h, other value you can just substitute it here. So if you only simplify for h, we'll get h as 25, and that will be the required answer for this question student. Okay, so this is how you have to proceed on this one. So let's move to the next one. Students, here what is given in the question, here the temperature of a compensated pendulum is designed in such a way that due to rise in temperature, the figure is shown here. It consists of an isosceles triangle here. So this one is L1, L1 and this is L2 alpha 2 and L2 alpha 2. Right? So what is given here else in the question, it is the pendulum is supported by side AB, and when we increase the temperature, this height remains same. So initially this height h, after some time the delta h, if h and h dash on increasing the temperature will remain same. H dash is with the rise of temperature. So h and h dash are same here. So if I try to calculate here h student, when temperature is not increased, so I can write here this h will be coming as, h will be under root, this will be, we can apply here the Pythagoras for this one, for this triangle. So Pythagoras, if you apply, this h can be written as, this one is given as L2. So L2 square minus L1 square by 2. L1 by 2 whole square. This is what we can write. This is my h. Now after some increase in temperature, this h dash, which it will be, h dash will be L2 1 plus alpha delta t whole square minus this L1 will also change. So this will be alpha 2 L1 1 plus alpha 1 delta t by 4, this L1 square I am writing it here. So this whole square, or I can write it L1 by 2 whole square. This is what I will get student, right? So if you see here, if you simplify this, what we can get here, this H dash, and in the question it is given H dash and H are same. So if I equate it here, I will get here L2 square minus L1 square. Root I can cancelled out here. And here if you see here, if we expand it here, this is a binomial expansion for this one. So it will come with 2 alpha. So L2 square 1 plus 2 alpha 2 delta t. And this we have minus sign here, yes, minus, and this will be coming with this whole square. So it will be L1 square by 4, and I can similarly write it for 1 plus 2 alpha 2 delta t, right. So if I substitute it here, so this L1 square and L2 square, these terms will be cancelled out here, right. I have used the binomial expansion 1 plus 2 alpha. For small value I can write this as 2 alpha delta t. So this L1 square, if I simplify this, I can write it here L2 square minus L1 square by 4 will be equals to L2 square minus 2 L2 square alpha 2 delta t. This will be have minus L1 square by 4 minus, so this will become 2 by 4 alpha 2 delta t, right. So this L1 square L2 square will cancelled out here. So what we get here, from here we are getting at L1 by L2 will be equals to 2 times alpha 2 by alpha 1, and that will be the answer of this question, right student. So L1 by L2 will be 2 times alpha 2 by alpha 2. So here we need to calculate the value of P. So P will be coming as 2, and that is the answer of this question. So simple, it is in the given question H and H dash. This is when temperature is not increased, and this is at increase of temperature. At increase of temperature, this is what it happened. So we equated H and H dash. On equating H and H dash, we got this. H and H dash is equated here. So when H and H dash is equated, we got this one, and this is the answer of this question, student. So let's proceed to the next one now. The rod of length L1 and L2 comprises an isosceles triangle. If they are heated, the angle theta is 37 degree remains constant. So this angle remain constant. So I can write here sin theta can be written as L2 by 2 by L1, right. So from here what I can write? I can write here L2 will be coming as 2 L1 sin theta, right. I'll name this 1. So if I do it here, if I write it for L2 alpha 2 delta t, it will be coming as 2 L1 alpha 1 delta t. I name this as equation 2. On solving equation 1 and equation 2, student, if I solve equation 1 and equation 2, I will get alpha 1 by alpha 2 will be coming as 1. Both this alpha 1 will be equals to alpha 2. So this ratio will be coming as 1. So the answer for this question will be 1, right. So let's proceed to the next question now. Here 1 kg of ice is mixed with 1 kg of water at 10 degrees Celsius. You have to calculate here the resulting temperature. So if you calculate here the latent heat of ice, what is given here? When 1 kg of we have ice and it is mixed with 1 kg of water. So the resultant temperature you have to calculate what will happen. So if I calculate here the latent heat of fusion of ice will be 80 calorie, right. Now the maximum heat which is required for water, I can write the maximum heat as m C water into delta T. What is delta T here, student? So delta T is 10. So if I plug the values here, I'll get here 1 into 1 into 10. So I am getting here 10 calorie of heat is required. So the available heat is 80 calorie and required heat is 10 calorie. So obviously all the ice will not melt. All ice will not melt. So all ice will not melt. So temperature of mixture will be 0 degree only, and that will be the answer of this question, right? So let's proceed to the next one now. Here 2 kg of ice at minus 20 degrees Celsius is mixed with 5 kg of water in an insulating vessels. You have to neglect the heat capacity of the vessel. Here it is mentioned here that you have to neglect the heat capacity of the vessel. So we know that by principle of calorimetry, heat gain is equals to heat loss. So if I write here the initial value of this first for ice, if we write here, this will be my L ice, that will be the change of state, which will be the heat required here, and this should be equal to M water, S water, and what will be the delta T here, 20, right? It is given here that the change should be 20 here. So when you will simplify this, what will be the mass remaining in this one? So mass remaining will be coming as 6 kg, and that will be the answer for this question, student. Right? So pretty simple on the calorimetry question, heat gain and heat loss you have to equate, you will get the answer for this one. So let's proceed to the next one now. So if you see the next question we have a clock with a metallic pendulum of 15 degree run faster by 5 seconds each day. So we know that delta T by T will be half alpha delta T. This delta T by T is the change in the time period. This is change in the time period. We know this. So for case 1, that is given 5 seconds faster. 5 seconds faster. So what we can write here? 5 by 24 into 60 into 60. That is my T is 24 hour. Into half alpha. If I take the temperature as T, which is the temperature here, so the pendulum is at 15 degree for the first case. When case 2, 10 seconds slower, it take place. So 10 seconds slower, I will write the equation 2 as 10 by 24, right? 24, this I am converting it in second because here the answer is given in second. So it will be equals to half alpha. What is the temperature here? I will take this is the equilibrium temperature which I am taking here. So equilibrium temperature T0 minus 15, and here I am taking T0 minus 30. Okay, it can be any value. So we'll just solve equation 1 and equation 2, student. So if you solve equation 1 and equation 2, if you solve, T0 will be coming as 20 degrees Celsius. So we got the temperature here as 20 degrees Celsius. Now we have one unknown alpha here. So on substituting in equation 1, on substituting it in equation 1, T0 value, if we substitute the equation 1 T0 value, so we can get here the alpha will be coming as 2.31 into 10 to the power minus 5. That will be the answer of this question, right? So if you simplify it here, this will be coming as the answer. Just check on the calculation part how you have to work out on this one. So the expression which is coming, that change in the time period, that is important here, that we have to consider. After that you have to just do the calculation. So next section we have multiple choice question. Here we have 10 multiple choice question, student, and which more than one correct is given. Marking scheme is +4 and -2 for all other cases. So we have marking scheme as -2 for all other cases. So if you see here, the first question we have two rods of length L1 and L2. They are made up of material of expansion alpha 1 and alpha 2, and it is given that L1 alpha 1 is equals to L2 alpha 2. So if this is the condition given, you have to check from this option what are the conditions given? So we know that L is equals to L naught 1 plus alpha delta T. From here I can write delta L will be equals to L alpha delta T. Okay. So if I write here delta L1, it will be coming as L1 alpha 1 delta T. Similarly, I can write delta L2, it will be L2 alpha 2 delta T. So from here if you see, L1 alpha 1 is given as L2 alpha 2 for same rise in temperature, for same temperature change. I will get here delta L1 will be equals to delta L2 as it is given L1 alpha 1 is equals to L2 alpha 2, right. So for this option is correct. Now let's check here for the change L2 dash minus L1 dash. For this what will happen? So for this if you check L2 dash minus L1 dash, I can write here L1 minus L2 and this will be coming as plus L1 alpha 1 minus L2 alpha 2 delta T. This I can write it here, yeah. From the given expression we have just simplified this. So this is constant here, this temperature difference, this L1 alpha 1 is equals to L1 alpha 2, so this is also coming to be 0. So this whole term if it get cancelled out here, we are getting the difference in the length is always constant and it is independent of rise in temperature. So this is the option B and C is the correct option for this one. So this is how you have to proceed on this one. So let's check the next one. 5 gram of steam at 100 degrees Celsius is mixed with 10 gram of ice at 0 degree Celsius. You have to choose the correct alternative from here. So if you see here, student, for steam here, what is the required heat? So required heat for steam, if we write it here, the required heat for steam. So what will be the required heat here? For the steam, if we see here, the required heat will be that for the change of state here. So if you see the required heat for steam, we can write here the change of state. So we know the latent heat of vaporization and everything. So if you substitute the value, required heat will be coming as 2700 calorie. Whereas if for steam, we have done. Now if we see it for ice what will happen? 10 gram of ice is given. So for 10 gram of ice, QA which will be required will be first change of first we are calculating for rise in temperature because the ice is at 0 degree. Here we have taken it from 100 to it is coming to 0 degree. So if we check here, the QA which will be coming is 1000 calorie. Okay. Now for change of state here, the change of state it will be coming as 800 calorie. Yes, just substitute 5 gram in just substitute the value here, right? So it will be coming as 800 calorie. So if you have to calculate how much of this steam is converted here, so mass of steam converting into water, what we can write here, this will be equals to 800 plus 1000 by 540, right? So this will be coming as 10 by 3 gram. So we see that initially which due to this change in temperature, whatever is the form, this much is the heat form. So if you see here, how much at equilibrium the mixture contain, water at equilibrium will be this 10 plus this 10 by 3. So if you see this 10 plus 10 by 3, what is this coming? It will be coming as 40 by 3, and if you simplify this will be 13 1 by 3 gram. So water at equilibrium will be this one, and if you see here the mixture contain how much water? The mixture contain, now initially it was having 10 minus 10 by 3, whatever is the water which is formed here, so this will be, if you see here, 30 minus 20, so it will be 20 by 3. So if you see here, this will be if you see here, the mixture content will be, this much water will be formed here. 30 minus 20, 30 minus 10, so it will be 20 by 3. So if you see here, this we can write it as 6 2 by 3, right? So this is how we can form it here. So just check, at equilibrium we see that the mixture will have the more number of steam. So steam is still formed in the mixture. So at equilibrium it will have this, the temperature of the equilibrium will be 100 degree only, and the water formed will be this. And even if you see here, the equilibrium contain the mixture which is having this much amount of water. So this options here, it is little incorrect, just wording has to be correct here. So let's see the next one. The system contains, shown in the figure, consists of 3 springs of 2 rods as shown in the figure. The temperature of the rod is increased by delta T. The spring initially is relaxed and there is no friction. The coefficient of linear expansion you have to calculate here, student. So if you see here, the coefficient of linear expansion which you have to calculate, this is, here we have 2 rods and 3 spring. Here we have 2 rod and 3 spring. So if I write here the expansion for this L1 I can write it as L alpha delta T, and similarly I can write it for L2, it will be L2 alpha delta T. So if I write here L1 plus L2, it will be 3 by 2 L alpha delta T. This is my equation 1. Now if you see here, this L1 plus L2 is my expansion here. Now if I have to find here the force, if you equate here, the K into X will be equal to 2K into X will be equals to this 3K into X. So this is my equation number 2. If I solve here the equation 1 and equation 2 here, this I can write it as x1, x2 and x3. Okay. So if this I have written as x1, x2 and x3, from equation 1 and equation 2 I have taken this force which is required here will be K into x1, for force it will be 2 into x2, and for this it will be 3K into x3. So if I solve here, student, I can get x1 as 9 by 11 alpha delta T. If I solve here, just substitute the value of x1 L1 here, you will get the x1 as 9 by 11 alpha delta T here. X1 value will get as 9 by 11 alpha delta T. Now if you see here, x2 value we can similarly solve it. X2 value will be 9 by 22 L alpha delta T. So I get the expansion here for x1, I get the expansion here for x2, and I will get the expansion here x3 also. So x3 will be 3 by 11 L alpha delta T. These are the 3 value which I got. Now if you see here, x1, L1, L2 we got. Now what we need to calculate here, the energy stored in the spring. So how I can calculate here the energy stored in spring 1? So energy stored will be half K x1 square. x1 I already have in terms of alpha 1, so I can substitute here half K, and I'll get here in terms of x1 I have 9 by 11 alpha delta T whole square. So if you simplify this x1, it will be coming as 81 by 242 K L square alpha square delta T whole square. Similarly, you can check it for S2. and similarly you can check it for S3. So this will be my S1. Similarly I can get it for S2. So S2 I'll get it, and similarly I can get it for S3. So my total energy will be the energy of the first spring plus energy of the second spring plus energy of the third spring, right? So if I add all this together, E1 plus E2, I'll get the total energy stored. So total energy will be coming as 297,484 KL square alpha square delta T whole square. That will be the answer of this question, student. Right? So this is how you have to proceed on this part. So let's move to the next one. Now, here in the question it is given that a metal rod of length L0 have a coefficient alpha. Okay, the temperature change is 1000 K. You have to check here what will be the final value of the temperature here. You have to check here what will be the final value of the temperature. So we know that delta L is equals to L0 alpha delta T. Delta L will be equals to L0 alpha delta T. So from here I can write delta L by L0 is equals to alpha delta T. Right? Now I can integrate both sides. On integrating both sides, yes, this alpha is given as 10 to the power minus 3, and if we substitute it here, so on integrating both sides we are getting as L is equals to L0 e to the power alpha T. Right? This if you integrate it here, we are getting L as L is equals to L0 alpha T. If you substitute the value of L0 and e to the E value, so what we'll get? We'll get here as 2.7 L0. So L is coming as, that is the new L. New L will be coming as 2.7 L0. Okay. So if you see here, it is greater than 2 L0. It is greater than 2.5 L0. So these two are the options of this question. So let's proceed to the next one now. Here student, during the experiment an ideal gas is formed and it obeys the condition P square by rho is equals to constant. This is my condition 1. Now I know by ideal gas condition PV is equals to nRT. From here if I write in terms of pressure and density, I can write it as P by rho R M by T. This is my equation 2. I name this as equation 1. On simplifying equation 1 and equation 2 student, on simplifying equation 1 and equation 2, what I can get? I'll get the pressure change here, the delta P. I can get here the temperature of the gas. How much is the temperature change here? I'll use equation 1 and equation 2 and I can calculate here the temperature change here. So delta T will be coming as root 2 times T. So this is the option. Now if you plot the graph between P and T here, if you plot a graph between P and T, it will be coming as hyperbola. From this, if you plot the graph between P and T, the graph will be coming as hyperbola. So this is the answer for this question, right? So just substitute all other values here. The gas expand by density is also given. So this density you can substitute the value and you can plot the graph. The graph will be coming as hyperbola. Two identical container each of volume V0 are joined by a small pipe. The container contain an ideal gas at temperature T0 and pressure P0. One container is heated to a temperature 2 while the other is maintained at this one. You have to find the common pressure. Okay, so we have two identical container here. They are joined by a small pipe. Already we have done the previous question like this. So initially each has V0 and they have the container have the temperature T0 and pressure P0. This is the initial condition. Now after this what will happen? After that one container is heated here. So the final temperature of this container will become 2 T0. Okay, the rest conditions will remain same. So rest conditions will, here the temperature is T only. here the temperature is T naught only. Obviously the pressure will change here, the volume remain as it is. So this is before heating and this is after heating. So one thing we know that the number of moles will remain unchanged. So number of moles if will remain unchanged. Initially if this is having N1, this is having N2, this is having N1 dash, this is having N2 dash. If we calculate here, N1 plus N2 will be equals to N1 dash plus N2 dash. So if I write here, I'll get in terms of N1 I can write is P naught V naught by R T naught plus P naught V naught by R T naught. The number of moles, student, I am writing it here, and this is having the pressure P, so I'll write P V naught by R T naught, and this is having pressure P V naught by 2R T naught, that because the temperature is here 2 naught. So if we simplify this, all other terms R will cancelled, we'll get here P and P naught relationship. So from here we'll get P as 4 by 3 P naught, right? Next you have to calculate what will be the number of moles in the other container. So here if I have to calculate here the N2 dash, so N2 dash here, student, I can write here the N2 dash, let's do it here. So N2 dash can be written as, N2 dash will be P V naught by 2R T naught. P we already got it, so we'll substitute the P value as 4 by 3 P naught V naught by 2R T naught. So if you simplify this, we are getting this value as 2 by 3 P naught V naught by R naught R T naught. So we got this and this as the correct option, right? So this and this are the correct option for this question. So let's proceed to the next one now. Here, student, a clock is calibrated at 20 degrees Celsius. You have to calculate alpha brass here. Alpha brass is given here. You have to calculate from the options. On a hot day, so on hot day, temperature will increase. So on hot day, if the temperature will increase, so obviously the clock will lose time. So obviously the clock will lose time, right? So first option will be correct. It can't gain time. So all the gain times will be, we can just see that on a hot day, this, if it is gaining time, we have to just check on this one. So temperature, it loses. Now if we see here, the value delta T by T we know, we can calculate half alpha delta T. We can substitute the values here. So if you substitute the values, half into this values, if you substitute it here, we can write here for this question the values. So half into alpha, we can write it as 9.5 into 10 to the power minus 2 and just multiply this with T. Okay, so this multiply this with T here. We can write here as delta T by T here. So we can multiply this delta T here. Delta T we need to calculate. So multiply this with 2, that is 24 hour. 24 into 60 into 60. So this will be coming as 8.2 seconds. So this will be correct here. If we substitute for delta, this one also, this will also be correct, coming correct here. So just check for the options, which one of this is correct and which one is not. And moreover, the concept remain the same. Delta T is equals to half alpha delta T, right? So let's proceed to the next one now. A vessel is partially filled with liquid. When the vessel is cooled to a lower temperature, the space in the vessel occupied by the liquid remain constant. The volume of the liquid you have to calculate. So if you see that when we are heating the liquid, so there, whatever will be the volume change in the liquid, that will be the same the volume change of the vessels. Okay, and delta V vessels, we can write it as VL gamma L delta T, and delta of the vessels we can write it as V vessel gamma vessel into delta T, right? Delta T can be cancelled out here from each side. So we'll get V, if it's right in terms of this option, V L by V vessel, VL by V vessel will be equals to gamma vessels by gamma L. This is the option. VL by V vessel is equals to gamma L by gamma vessel. Now student, one thing you take care here, that the volume of the liquid will be less than the volume of the vessel. Obviously, you can't have the volume of the vessel more than the volume of the liquid. You can't have the more than the volume of the vessels. So we can write here the gamma of the liquid will be more than the gamma of the vessels, because we have this condition. So these two options, A and D, will be the correct option for this one, as liquid volume can't be more than vessel volume. Okay, so obviously it will be little less than it is partially filled, it is said here. So let's move to the next one now. A uniform cylinder of steel of mass m and radius r are placed on this one. After, when the cylinder reaches to a specified state of rotation, we get this condition, T changes from T0 to alpha T0 if delta I is the fractional change of the moment of inertia and delta omega by omega is the fractional change in the angular velocity. What we can write here? So we know that on increasing the temperature, the angular momentum will not change. So L, we know L is equals to angular momentum is equals to I omega. So if I calculate here delta L by L, it will be equals to delta I by I plus delta omega by omega. Now angular momentum is conserved here, so it will be delta L by L will be 0. So I can write here delta I by I will be equals to minus delta omega by omega, right? And delta I, because its moment of inertia I for a uniform cylinder, I can write it for mr square. So I can write here delta I by I will be coming as 2r delta r by r, right? This we can write. So for first option it is correct, and for the second option, if you see, delta I by I can also be written as minus delta omega by omega, and this can also be written as minus 2 alpha delta t. In terms of alpha delta t, we can write it as minus 2 alpha t. So we have this also as correct option, right? So we got these two as correct. Let's see the next question. We have a bimetallic strip like this. This is having the length alpha 1 and this is having alpha 2. Okay, so if I take alpha 1 as greater than alpha 2, student, let's assume for a time being that alpha 1 is greater than alpha 2. Okay, so if alpha 1 is greater than alpha 2, we know that delta L can be written as L naught alpha delta t. So if my delta L1 will be greater than delta L2, so if from here I can write delta L1 will, if alpha 1 will be greater than alpha 2, I can write here delta L1 will be greater than delta L2, right? So obviously, if on heating, it will bend toward the lower alpha. On heating, when the temperature will increase, it will bend toward lower alpha. So when it will bend like this. This is the value. What will happen on cooling? Lower alpha on heating. On cooling, student, on cooling, it will bend toward higher alpha. So these two options are correct. From here I can say it, right? So let's proceed to the next one now. Now we have a third section. It is a matrix matching, and you know that for matrix matching you will be awarded plus 2 marks and minus 1 for all other cases. So if you see here, so for the first question, in a container of negligible mass 100 gram of steam, so we have a container of mass m and m gram, and here we are adding a steam of 100 gram here. So we are adding here the steam of 100 gram, and it has a temperature 20 degree Celsius. So if you see here, heat gain is equals to heat loss. We can equate the heat gain and heat loss condition here. So what is the mass of steam in the mixture? Mass of steam, already we have done this type of question. Mass of steam in mixture, we can calculate it here. The mass of steam in the mixture, if we equate the two condition and equate the initial for initial heat gain and heat loss, we'll get the mass of steam in the question will be coming as 5.2 gram. Okay. Similarly, mass of water formed will be, already we have done this same question. How much will be the mass of steam, how much will be the mass of water formed? So mass of water formed here will be, mass of water I can write it as 114.8 gram, right? Final temperature here, final temperature if you see here, obviously there will be steam, so final temperature will be same as that of steam temperature, it will be 100 degrees Celsius, right? And if you see the for this one, if M is 10 gram, the final temperature which will be coming is for option D. Option D will get Q as the answer. Okay. So just check on the heat gain and heat loss condition. We'll get all the options here. Already we have done the similar question on this model. So if you see here the next question, whenever a liquid is heated in a container, the expansion in liquid as well as the container take place. Okay. So VL will be equals to V vessel, that is delta V will be equals to delta V vessel. We can write it whatever will be the expansion here. So I can write here delta V in terms of this, I can write it in terms of V naught gamma minus 3 alpha delta T. This is for the liquid and this is for the vessel. The whatever will be the change, I can write it here. Now if you see here in the question, if it is given that if gamma is equals to 2 alpha. So if gamma, if I take it as 2 alpha, student, I can write here delta V. What will be the delta V? Liquid rise in the liquid level rise in this one. So if I check here, gamma will be equals to 2 alpha. From here what I can write? I will write that liquid level, if gamma is equals to 2 alpha, I will check for the options. If gamma is equals to 2 alpha, I will check that liquid level remains same with respect to ground. This I will get, right? Now if I check here, if gamma is equals to 3 alpha, if gamma is equals to 3 alpha, what I will get? Substitute here in the gamma is equals to 3 alpha, delta V is equals to 0 coming. So what I will check here? I will check that delta V is 0. So if gamma is 3 alpha, what I can write here? I will write that liquid level remains same with respect to container, right? So for this I will get R option, for this I will get P option, right? Now check for the other condition, if 2 alpha, if it lies between 2 alpha and 3 alpha, so what will be the condition? If it lies between 2 alpha, liquid level will not drop with respect to container, so we will get the option Q. And similarly, if the liquid level rises with respect to container, we will get the option if this is possible when gamma is equals to greater than 3 alpha, then only it is possible, right? So these are the conditions here. This liquid level will remain same with respect to container when it is possible, when gamma is equals to 3 alpha. Yes, liquid level will drop with respect to container. When is this is possible? When 2 alpha and gamma is here, and liquid level will remain same with respect to ground, student. When is this possible? When gamma is equals to 2 alpha. Right. So this is how we have to proceed on this one. So here we come to the end of today's paper discussion. Just revise all the concept properly. This will give you overall clarity of the whole topic. So that's all for today. Thank you.